part 2 on the 2021 ND Miata. Today it's going to be all about disassembly. Right now parts are still a bit hard to find even for a manufacturer, so I've already got some on the way, but for the things I can't get, I can disassemble, I can be ready for when those parts arrive, so I can get this thing back together as fast as possible and back on the road so that I can try driving it. I've also got to go over a little bit of damage I didn't discover until after last video. So let's go ahead and move over to the front corner and get into that now. I have pulled off the bottom of this fuse box because the plastic housing was all cracked. Luckily, every wire going into here, all of the relays in there, different things, they are all good to go. It's literally just the plastic piece that was crushed. So the fuse box isn't the bad part. The bad part is the subframe here. It was hit. Kind of a glancing blow, but it is attached right here as well, and this got a little bit twisted up. As well as where it was hit from the steering rack, I think that contributed to the subframe now being twisted. As you can see, I can fit my finger in there pretty well. It's a gap. Go to the other side. And I can't. I have about 2 millimeters of clearance. So I believe I have a decently twisted subframe, and I'm not trying to mess around with keeping that and thinking it's going to be okay. I already have a new subframe on the way, as well as the top pieces of the engine mounts. And I can do both those things at once. Ideally, I'm going to use a crane, hold the engine in place, drop the subframe from below. I don't want to mess with any of the AC lines or any of the coolant because I don't want to have to bleed those systems later and refill them. I'm hoping it can be done. I'm not fully sure yet. All right, so let's go ahead and get started working. We're just going to take everything off of the subframe that we can and still leave it attached to the car. Okay, I've got both knuckles off now. They're sitting over there. you can see our subframe here a little better, you can see how messed up this back part of that upper A-arm is. Like most Miatas, these bolts, along with these little locking washers, these are for your alignment. So when you're taking these apart, you want to take the nut off the bolt. You don't want to try and twist the bolt. Leave the bolt in place, you twist the nut off, you slide this off, you pull this back through. All right, I think the last things on the subframe, other than the engine still sitting on it, are gonna be the small bolt for the bracket that I have that extension on, and then another one down there. And if there's anything else, I'm not sure, but I'll take out the under tray and see about that too. I decided to leave the connecting pieces on down there for now. So we've got these, we've got the main, we've got the back, got those. But I think everything else is off. The radiator itself, its lower mounts right here. There's 2 bolts up into the subframe here. And then this is just a retaining dowel. So I think I can leave those on, and I'll just strap the radiator to the core support here so that this stays in place and can just lift out of those pegs. So that gets us just about as far as we can get for the subframe until we have an engine hoist. Now the front end is all ready for the new subframe, but I don't even think it's shipped yet. It's been weeks. Told me it was in stock. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, now it's time to move on to the interior, because we have the driver airbag blown, the steering airbag blown, and I need to get the SRS module out so that I can send it off to be reset. That is located between the 2 seats, between the panel that spans the entire length behind the seats. To get the seats out in a Miata, typically you just drop your top. This being a powered top, I'll need power. I already told myself I wasn't going to put power back to this car until everything else was reset. And I told myself that because I'm not sure about airbags, because I do have like cut wires, missing sensors, and missing airbags too, because I've already taken the driver's steering off. I'm going to apply power to the car and hope nothing blows up. I don't think it should, but you can never really underestimate how dumb some things are, especially if you're using like myself as an example. So I was just checking out the sun visors, and this one's cracked. It's absolutely shattered. The other one's fine. Guess I get to get a new one of those. All right, we finally made it. That's what we want right there. don't have anything else to do until I get parts in. I'm gonna send off the seatbelt and SRS modules so those can be restored. I'm waiting on the subframe to come in, the 2 upper parts of the motor mounts, the bottom of the fuse box, and then also the front driver crash sensor. When I get those things in, I can work on the next part, which will be me hoisting the engine up, removing the subframe, replacing it, and then attaching basically everything I already have, the steering rack and everything else, and this should become a drivable car. Not like legally on the street, but I'm gonna take it around the neighborhood, hopefully in the next episode. So, I just don't know when that'll be. This episode's coming out a little later than I wanted it to, but I guess that's a good thing because it might be even longer for the next one. I hope it's not, and I'm gonna get on it as fast as I can, but it's really not up to me at this point. In the meantime, I'm gonna work back on my 1996 Miata, so if you'd like to see that, please subscribe. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.